Good afternoon, everyone. I am Christine Ann Olitan, and I'm to discuss about the principles of physiology. Let us define first the word physiology. Physiology is the branch of biology that studies the normal functions of living organisms from the cellular level to the whole body. It investigates how cells, tissues, organs, and organ systems work together to maintain life, and physiologists also explore how these systems function both in health and disease, helping to understand and treat various conditions. The physiological processes in living organisms. So we have three physiological processes in living organisms. We have homeostasis, cellular communication, and regulation. And these are interconnected processes vital for maintaining a stable internal environment within an organism and its cells. So I'm going to discuss these physiological processes one by one. And let's start with homeostasis. To simply define the homeostasis, it is the steady state of our body, our internal environment, despite of the triggers of the external environment. So, mechanism, the stability is achieved through feedback loops where changes in a variable trigger responses to counteract the change and restore it to a set point. For example, if your body temperature rises, negative feedback mechanisms like sweating will help lower it back to normal, and this type of feedback counteracts a change, bringing the variable back towards its set point. So, homeostasis work um, through feedback of our body to the triggers of our environment. So, for example, you are in a desert. Your surrounding is hot, and um, since nag-increase ang temperature sa imo surrounding, ang imo lat body, ang imo thermoreceptors sa imo skin, magi-increase lat siya. And these thermoreceptors sa imo skin is connected to the hypothalamus. So, magsisend in nila thermoreceptor signals sa hypothalamus para ma-activate ang neurons. Nga na neurons naman is masisend siya pa kadto sa skin para mag-produce ng sweats mo ito na panghuhulasan kit every time na naiinitan kit to para an ato body mag-decrease ang kanya temperature. Ayan, to adapt or to counteract the temperature of our surrounding, of the external triggers. So, maintaining homeostasis is crucial for survival as deviations from normal internal conditions can lead to disease or death. Pero some organisms doesn't have the ability to to counteract with the triggers of the environment. For example, sa mga reptiles, birds, and sa fish, waray sira ability, and ira body waray ability para um, himon in na homeostasis. They only rely to the external factors as well. So, kapag naiinitan sila, pupunta lang sila sa mga shaded area para mag-cool down. And when they feel also cold, they will find the heat source para mag-increase ang kanila body temperature. Next is we have cellular communication. Cellular communication refers to the interaction between cells where cells can sense and respond to signals from other cell tissues or the environment. This communication occurs through various signals, including chemical signals such as hormones and neurotransmitters, physical signals such as electrical impulses, and direct contact between cells. We have two types of cell signaling. These are intercellular signaling and intracellular signaling. intercellular signaling occurs within a cell itself, while intracellular signaling happens when a cell communicates to another cell. And we have the types of intracellular signaling. First is the direct cell to cell contact. Some cells communicate directly through gap junctions or through cell surface molecules. So may mga cells kita na very close to each other and they only communicate through gap junctions in between the cells. So, adi po ang kanya illustration. So, ada po na sa kanila, uh, but nga mo ito ng gap junctions and they pass molecules, ions, and such from one cell to another through gap junctions. Next is paracrine signaling. Neurons communicate with each other and other cells through electrical and chemical signals. So, adi man na paracrine signaling, ang cells sini kasi they're not far away from each other, but at the same time, dili lang sila very close to each other. So, may distance lagi hapon. So, ang kanang ginagamit is like this illustration. Ayan. So, the sender cell, they discrete like ions, molecules, and such to the target cells. Tapos ang target cells, yon sila receptors na kumbaga sa ato na human, parang kamot ini siya nira. Yan, para dun magbabind ang mga molecules, dun magbabind ang mga molecules, mga ions, and such. Next is we have endocrine signaling. Hormones released by endocrine glands travel through the bloodstream to target cells, triggering specific responses. So, in this case, an endocrine signaling man very far away. The cells are very far from each other. So, for example, ato na example kanina sa homeostasis and hypothalamus in our brain, very far man siya from the skin. So, kailangan mag-travel sa neurons, mga molecules sa bloodstream para makakadto siya sa target cells. Okay, so cellular communication is essential for coordinating cell activities, organizing tissues and organs, and maintaining homeostasis. So next we have regulation. Regulation refers to the mechanism that control cellular processes, including gene expression, metabolic pathways, and responses to stimuli. Okay, so first, ito po ang kanyang mga processes. Una is transcriptional regulation. Second is post-transcriptional regulation. Third is signal transduction pathways. And last is metabolic regulation. So, transcriptional regulation, the process of controlling which genes are turned on or turned off, influencing the amount and type of proteins produced. So, may ni siya ang process ang pag-turn on and turn off sa mga genes. So, for example, you accidentally mo na captain and boiling water. So, may genes or may mga cells na diri man applied sa ito na situation. For example, ang imo cells sa imo kidneys, sa imo liver. So, diri man siya applied sa na situation and applied man na cells na mag-work sa ito na situation is your cells sa imo skin and cells sa imo brain. So, kaya kailangan i-regulate sa mga genes sa cell kay diri tanan applied sa ito na situation. So, ang mga applied laan ito turn on, and diri man apply, diri man magagamitan sa ito na situation, mao siya i-turn off. Post-transcriptional regulation, modifications to mRNA that affect protein production. So, para ma-achieve an um, para ma-achieve na pag-control sa genes, para ma-turn off turn on, um, na ang kada cell, di ba, yaon gene, ngan ang genes, it contains DNA. And DNA, pag i-transcribe siya na, pag i-transcribe ini siya, mo ini siya sa transcriptional na process. Pag i-transcribe ang DNA, I mean, maka-convert siya into mRNA. And ini na mRNA through various processes, maging protein ini siya, which is required para ang protein mo ini siya nag-trigger sa cells para mag-work. Signal transduction pathways, sequence of molecular events that relay signals from the cell surface to the cell's interior, triggering specific cellular responses. So, din na occur ang paracrine signaling kanina. So, magsisend na usa na cells and molecules signals sa target cells para yun na target cells mag-work na siya or magkayoon response. Okay, last is metabolic regulation. Control of metabolic pathways, including enzymes that catalyze reactions and feedback loops and adjust metabolic activity. So, and metabolic regulation, it refers to the process by which metabolic pathways are controlled in living organisms to ensure efficient energy production and sa cellular function. Okay, so regulation is important because it ensures that cells are functioning correctly and are responding appropriately to changes in their environment. That's all for my part. Thank you.